Mr. Yee Chia Hsing.
Mr. Speaker, sir, Finance Minister Heng Swee Keat and his team has presented a well-balanced plan which shows prudence in our fiscal policies and continues from last year's themes of preparing Singapore for the future. During the budget debate last year, I mentioned that there's room to make our tax system more progressive, and those who can afford must contribute more. In particular, I suggested having an additional tier of buyer's stamp duty for property that the transaction values are above $1 million. I'm glad that this has been introduced this year, although I must say that the Finance Minister is very kind to increase the marginal rate from 3% to 4%, as I earlier suggested a much higher marginal rate of 10%. Another progressive measure which I noticed is that the levy for foreign domestic workers, or FDWs, has increased. In particular, the levy for a second FDW has increased from $265 to $450, representing almost a 70% increase. But I'm sure households which can afford to hire 2 or more FDWs will be able to afford the increase. I wish to reiterate that families who may need help caring for young children, the elderly, or family members with disabilities will not be affected by this increase, as they will continue to enjoy the concessionary levy rate of $60 a month, which remains unchanged. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to reiterate the call for more ways to raise revenues in a progressive and discretionary manner. During the second reading of the Stamps Duty Bill last year, I suggested setting up a special department to look at creative ways to raise more revenues and also look out for existing tax loopholes which should be closed. I hope the ministry is looking at this proposal. Mr. Speaker, sir, today I would like to offer 2 suggestions. First, I would like to repeat my suggestion last year to introduce the tender of SG series registration number plates for cars. I noted that the front page of the Straits Times budget special covering the budget speech by the Finance Minister also featured a white car with SG 2018 number plate. I'm convinced that the tender of SG series registration car number plates would raise good revenues, which will help boost our government coffers. Second, I would like to suggest altering the duties payable for dutiable luxury goods, such as cigars and high-end wines and alcohols. According to the Singapore Customs website, for most wines, there's no customs duty payable, and the excise duty is $88 per liter of alcohol. Tobacco products are charged by weight and its excise duty rates. I would like to suggest charging duties based on percentage of its value as opposed to the current rate based on fiscal measures such as volume or weight. Under the current system, a bottle of wine which costs $50 is charged the same duty as another bottle which costs more than $1,000. Similarly, a top-end Cuban cigar is taxed at a rate of $427 per kilogram, which is similar rate to normal cigarettes, even though it may cost many times more. Mr. Speaker, sir, I propose to change the calculation of duties on luxury goods such as wine and cigars to one which is based on customs value. Understandably, this may incur more work for the customs office. However, I'm hopeful the ministry can look into my proposal. Mr. Speaker, sir, as our government faces increasing expenditures for healthcare and social spending, we need to find ways to make our tax system even more progressive, raising more revenues from luxury items such as special car registration numbers, high-end wines and cigars is not only progressive, but also discretionary in nature as there is consumer choice. Once again, I'd like to thank the Finance Minister and his team at MOF for presenting a well-balanced and forward-looking budget which prepares Singapore for the years ahead. I support the budget. Thank you.